one last thing about the infinite bombs and arrows glitch. If Link pauses and saves with infinite bombs and arrows and continues playing, he'll have nothing equipped on the D-pad. Well, D-pad, they're probably just talking about the Wii version of that description. Like, that's the awkward thing. Like, they assume that you're playing with the Wiimote, and the Wiimote barely has any buttons at all. Don't know why they thought that was a good idea for a controller. So they have to awkwardly map the items to the D-pad of all things. I think the D-pad in 3D Zelda games is just better off accessing the map and the items thing. And even the items thing, I don't see what was wrong with Wind Waker just pressing start to bring up the menu. Why do we need an items menu and an equipment menu? But anyways, if you quit the game in the infinite bombs and arrows glitch, you'll be at Upper Zora's River with the items you had equipped before the glitch even started. It is possible to have infinite bombs of any type. Just sell all the bombs in the lint bomb bag and buy the lowest amount of any bomb type desired, and it'll fill the bomb bag. This can also be used to get more money by selling the bombs and buying less again for a net profit. Like, I'm assuming what happens is that's a negative overflow or something. Fuck this boss, seriously. Like, he has so much reach with the ball and chain. I mean, it's a cool idea. I love the concept of it. You claw shot onto the ceiling behind him, and that's how you get behind him to attack his tail. But sometimes he can turn around really fast, rendering what you did pointless. So what you really have to do, like, it turns out what you really have to do is claw shotting the ceiling is only a method of avoiding the ball and chain as he gets closer to you. And claw shotting behind him doesn't actually let you grab his tail. Attack his tail, I mean. Like, I guess it would have been interesting to swing him around. Like Bowser in Super Mario 64. Imagine Link doing that. That is so cheap. You shouldn't have to be attacked by the ball and chain while you're being claw shotted up to the ceiling. You're vulnerable during that time. But yeah, what you really have to do is boringly wait around for him to throw his claw shot at you. But he does it so suddenly that you can be in the middle of claw shotting the ceiling while it happens and get cheated out of your opportunity to attack. Like, he does it so quickly. The boss confuses you into thinking that you have to employ a completely different strategy than you should. Like, he turns around 180 degrees at light speed. So you can't claw shot behind him. That's not what you're supposed to do. Like, you throw the ball and chain yourself so slowly compared to him. And he throws it so quickly and he turns around with it immediately. You spend like 8 billion years turning around with this thing. Like, it is cool how, for once, the dungeon item you get is actually, an item that you directly saw a boss fight with. Like it's a more organic way of getting an item. Usually items are just found in the dungeon chests and you just have to assume that they're placed there by the Highlands. Like, you never really see anyone taking advantage of it. So why did Zant allow it to be in that dungeon that he designed for you? Well, like that's the thing, that this isn't a dungeon that Zant designed or anything. This is actually a mansion full of, like, Hyrule Castle armory stuff. Like it's got knight's armor, it's got cannons, it's got all sorts of stuff, like weapons on the walls. This is clearly some sort of, like, war preparation warehouse. And these Yetis just decided to, like, I don't understand why a mansion is in a war house. Like, I guess they just built the mansion around it. Like, it makes you think that you go into the dungeon and the dungeon is all just one big building. But maybe it's just that the mansion is to the south of all the war equipment storage areas. But yeah, there are things that I love about this dungeon and concept. I love the soup. I love the heartwarmingness of the fact that the husband is making soup for his sick wife. And you have to constantly end up finding food that actually makes the soup better when you're expecting to find the big key. When it should be really obvious that you're not going to find the big key right away. Like, it's interesting. It also helps with the world building, how you don't just find cheese, you find Orden goat cheese. So it gives you the sense that the world that Link is living in actually has an economy, like some sort of trading system. Like, Orden doesn't just have goats, it also actually has it doing stuff with the supplies from the goats. It sends the products of the goats far and wide, to the point where you can even find them in a Yeti's mansion. I like that concept, and you also found an Orden pumpkin. So that was pretty interesting. Like, there are things that I like about this dungeon in concept. It's very satisfying smashing the ice. I just wish it didn't slow you down so much, like using the ball and chain just for the sake of being realistic. Why is it that hitting the side of this thing doesn't seem to do anything to it? Is it like that always seems to happen when I hit it the first time? Is it a thing where you have to hit it twice in order to kill it? Because it's not flashing with damage. So how am I supposed to know that I'm damaging it and it's just not randomly deciding to not do anything? Like, when they freeze you with their ice breath, it's pretty annoying. Were there ice keys in Wind Waker? I know there was fire keys. Not that it would really matter, since it's not like you had a fire vulnerable armor in that game. Like, you didn't really have different tunics in that game. No, the pajamas doesn't count. It doesn't really have any different effect. But yeah, the ball and chain makes short work of these, but that's assuming that you're lucky enough that you timed using it enough. That you timed using it so that it was right after they were recoiling from their attacking you. Because they attack you at light speed. I just hate how you have to rely on the ball and chain to attack practically every enemy in this dungeon. It just feels cheap. Like, some of them are just so fast. And they're so durable. They're so tough. I guess durable wouldn't work because durable implies that it's a material that can easily be bent and made into, like, broken, made into different objects. Wouldn't that by definition mean it's not tough? Why do people use it as a positive for armor then? But yeah, this is another interesting concept I like. I just wish it didn't take so long to make the chandeliers move around. And here you have a really lame and annoying platforming challenge with this, where you can't really tell how far away you are from the chandeliers. A zoomed out 2D perspective would vastly help with timing your jump here. But it's, instead, like, it moves. How am I supposed to know that I'm close enough to that platform that I can jump onto it already? It's so awkward trying to get this chandelier that you're standing on already to start swinging back enough that you can jump onto that platform with the piece of heart. Do you have any idea how long it took me to get this piece of heart? Several minutes that I had to edit out. Like, if you fall from the chandelier, then you have to go all the way back up here. It's a good thing that they're nice enough to have a claw shot target on the wall, so you can actually grab onto it and get back up here really quickly, but still, like, it's hard to tell how close you are to a platform and that you can jump onto it. I didn't think that I could jump that far. Like, I swear, that one section makes me kind of hate the chandeliers. I do kind of like the concept of it though, making it swing around back and forth. I just wish it didn't take so long to throw the ball and chain, just because it's supposed to be heavy. Like, I love breaking ice with it, but you also have to wait 8 million years for it to come back to you after you throw it. Why can't it just come back to you really quickly? Why do you have to wait for it to come back to you while you're stuck standing still during all that time? And then it comes back to you, and then you have to press A to put it away. Or you'll be walking around really slowly while holding it. Why can't you just throw it? And that's it. Why can't you just throw it? And then you could just do whatever. And there's a lot of poses in this dungeon, like starting with Arbiter's Grounds is where the poses start appearing in the actual dungeons. Which is good design, because if they put poses that you can't defeat yet in the dungeons before Arbiter's Grounds, that would be really cheap, and like it would force you to go back to those dungeons to get all the poses. It's already annoying enough finding a pose in the cave in Kakariko Gorge. Like, this game actually taught me the meaning of the word gorge. I thought it was a really name I thought it was a really weird word when I was a kid, because I had never heard it before. Apparently it's supposed to be some sort of valley area. Why don't they just call it valley? This puzzle is absolute horseshit. So enjoy this music. But yeah, I always had to look up a guide to do this puzzle. I was surprised I actually managed to do this puzzle without a guide this time. And even then, it still took me forever. There's actually something called the horse grass boomerang glitch. Find any patch of whistle grass and stand next to it. Throw the gale boomerang in any direction, and just as it comes back to Link, pick up the grass. Link will actually blow into his boomerang. It is a bit easier to perform the glitch while standing on one of the platforms in Orden Village. Stand in front of the hawk grass and throw the gale boomerang. Tilt the control stick slightly so Link just faces another direction, and press A right as he's supposed to catch the boomerang. It's a glitch that reminds me of the glitch where you can use any item as the Ocarina of Time in Ocarina of Time. Like, you can blow into a bottle if you want. Or even your sword. It's kind of tedious climbing up multiple stairs at once. I don't really see the point of having stairs in Zelda level design. Like, it just stops you, and instead of being able to just roll forwards really quickly, you have to stop and have Link climb up. It's not fun. Like, climbing up vines really quickly with the stamina meter was fun. Although it would have been 10 times as fun without the stamina meter at all. And this is the definition of cheap. I do not have any arrows left at this point, and the dungeon doesn't give it to me because the designers were too stupid to foresee the possibility that you would desperately need them. So I had to resort to using the Gale Boomerang to bring a bomb over to these guys, because it's the only efficient way to defeat them. They attack you from a distance. That's another cheap thing about them. So you need to attack them with the distance with the bomb arrows to have a fair chance. And like the ball and chain attacks from distance too, but the sheer fact that it takes so long to attack with it, when they attack instantly, kind of negates that advantage. Like, look at this. This is so fun, and it really looks like you should be able to climb up there, but for some reason you can't, even though it's at the exact same height as all of the other ledges that you can climb up. Thankfully, they do put a claw shot target there, so it's possible to get over there. It just seems arbitrary. Like, you can clearly climb it up, but the game doesn't really do that so that you can claw shot over to it instead. There's also a Howling Stone glitch. When scaling Snow Peak, howl at the 6th Howling Stone. You'll be shown the location of the 6th hidden skill. Don't get it right away. Instead, finish Snow Peak Ruins in Temple of Time. Then the 6th wolf won't be there anymore. Howl at the hidden village howling statue, and you'll be able to learn the 6th skill from the location of the last skill. Thankfully, they must have programmed a failsafe, because you can get the last skill by being able to howl at Lake Hylia Stone for a second time. I'm not sure how you're supposed to know this without looking it up in desperation, though. So ultimately, they didn't really fix it because it's not like they had men to tell you that you could do that. You might still worry that you lost the last hidden skill forever.